Welcome to Quick Stop F1. My name is Nyasha and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. And welcome to Nyasha's Notebook, the show where me and this little notebook do our best Ted Kravitz impersonation and we recount the last session of the day. Now, normally in this situation, I would watch a race and then immediately head down to the park. For some reason today, I fell asleep straight after the race and felt a little bit bad about it, actually, that this was going to be late. And then woke up to an absolute madness in my fucking phone with the race results absolutely skewed. So we're going to get into that and everything that's kind of happened at the China Grand Prix. But before we do that, thank you so much to all of the new subscribers we have on the channel. We are now less than 300 people away from our 6,000 target, the road to 6,000. We can see the target in the mirror, not mirror, because that's backwards, in the window. So thank you so much for everyone to who subscribed. If you like this channel, or if you like this video, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. This is going out obviously on Patreon, on Spotify. So if you are listening to this and you want to listen to this without any adverts, you can do so by supporting us on a Patreon, and then obviously the membership as well. Anyway, enough of all of that. For those of you who are still here after all of that, let's get into it, because woo, what a day. So we have a situation where both Ferraris and Pierre Gasly have been disqualified from the race. Ferrari double DQ. Lewis Hamilton was found to be too much wear on his plank, and Charles Leclerc was 1 kg overweight. Ferrari have issued a statement saying that due to Charles's one-stop strategy, that resulted in increased tyre wear, which they didn't foresee. Feels very familiar with what happened with George Russell in Belgium last year. And then with Lewis, they have said that there was a miscalculation, and obviously there was low plank wear. Ferrari. Oh my God. With one hand they giveth, and the other they taketh away. I don't know what to say about this team. I think I stood in this very field here after the race in Australia. Just over there, I was standing, and I said that this team are thick. And not like Nicki Minaj thick, not Meg Thee Stallion thick, you know? They're fucking dense. They're stupid, bro. And in all honesty, let's make no fucking mistake. These two cars being disqualified is wholly avoidable. Okay? Completely avoidable. They gambled on weight and tyres, and they gambled on the plank and the ride height. And that gamble did not pay off. And they are lucky. These men are fucking lucky that yesterday happened. Because if this had happened yesterday, and it was Lewis's car that, after scrutineering, got disqualified, and let me tell you now, the honeymoon phase would have been over. Finished. So luckily, everyone's actually okay. We're leaving with something, Team LH. We're leaving with something. And for me, it just goes back to what I was saying before. We used to laugh at this team, at how ridiculous they were. And now we can see firsthand what it is like. And it's awful. It's awful. Oh my God. I need, right now, yeah, like, it's almost like laugh now, cry later. Like, water is coming off my face, but that's simply because it's a bit windy here today, which is definitely the coldest, um, notebook that I've done. But honest to God, I need Anthony Hamilton right now. Like, I know, Anthony, I know you're busy with your son and you're busy with your own life and you're busy being grid dad to 19 other drivers. But I need a shoulder to cry on right now. I need a hug because this Ferrari team, I feel like I'm in a toxic relationship. Honest to God. From being love bombed in the beginning with all the fancy shit. They took me to Milan for the day, fancy clothes, fancy cars, and then we get to the first race of the season, and it's like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby. It won't happen again. Okay. It's the first time. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And then we win on Saturday. You're like, everything's great again. Everything's perfect. And then what do? They fuck up again. They fuck up again. And I just got here. I can't leave. There's potential here. Fuck me. What a life we all lead. So, essentially, Lewis Hamilton becomes the first person to, on the same weekend, win a race and be disqualified from a race. I need to ask someone, when's the last time 2 drivers from the same team got disqualified? I'd love to know that stat. And yeah. Like, sorry. Like, what in... I mean, just... What the fuck? What the fuck? But, like... Maybe because this isn't a race win that got taken away. This isn't a... it wasn't a podium that got taken away. So, in all honesty, I'm not that pained by it, by the actual disqualification itself. It's annoying. And Ferrari say they're going to learn lessons from it. I'd fucking hope so. But really and truly, we didn't lose out on much. What did we lose out on? Like, was it a 6th place? A 6th place that was going to be taken from us by Max Verstappen. Anyway, they rolled the dice, 2-stroke strategy. Didn't really have enough pace in those hard tyres at the end to make it work. Although he did finish only a few seconds behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, who, for the 2nd race in a row, hit Lewis Hamilton at the start. And if we're being honest, that was a whack from Charles on Lewis at the start. And Lewis is very lucky to not be walking away from this race with a DNF due to a puncture. So something to look out for there. If they're going to be so close on the grid all the time, it feels like we're in that situation now where it's an accident waiting to happen. Lewis kind of backed out last week because he was the one, I guess, with visual on it. This week, Charles was the one with visual on it. And it was clumsy. I wouldn't say it was malicious or anything, but it was definitely clumsy. And I think that's something to look out for. Something else to look out for. What's hilarious? Let me tell you something now. I did a video a few days ago about how Lewis is reported differently in the media. And there was some pushback to that, obviously. There was some pushback to that. There's some lovely comments on that, by the way. Thank you so much for all the kind comments. And thank you to the gift of €10 from the person who left the gift. I can't remember your name, but thank you for that. That was really cool. But for me, we're in a situation where Lewis Hamilton requested that they swap Charles Leclerc, with a broken wing after running into Lewis, with a broken wing, was closing down on Hamilton and was behind him. Now, at this point in time, we weren't sure if Lewis Hamilton was just preserving his tyres. Everyone was very wary of the fact that the medium tyre didn't have as much life as they would want it to, or that they were predicting. So they made a decision. Lewis made a decision to tell the team that they wanted to swap. He should probably swap because he's holding Charles up. Lewis then speeds up a bit and tells Charles to get closer, probably looking to create a slight delta so that when he does slow down, it doesn't affect him too much. The way it was reported on Sky, the way I've seen it reported by the Daily Mail, and now obviously the Daily Mail are a shit rag anyway, no one gives a fuck about the Daily Mail. But what I would say about all of that is that it's just insane that 3 days later, we're looking at a situation where the commentators tried to switch it into Hamilton's not obeying team orders. Newspapers are trying to switch it into Hamilton's not obeying team orders. There's a great interview with Fred Vasseur. I think Viaplay are asking him, you had an issue with Lewis Hamilton having to move over. And Fred Vasseur very plainly says, I'm going to get away from here because I'm literally by the road. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Fred Vasseur says, oh God, I'm like stuck. Fred Vasseur says that, Lewis asked to change and you guys, maybe you should report on the full story. And they say, they say, maybe we should have the full story. And then he says, well, this is what I'm used to since the start of the season. If I say something is black, you will say it's white. If I say something pink, you'll say it's blue. Now, I wonder what could have happened or what has changed in Ferrari from last season to this season. And for those of you who are smart enough to know, we all know what that is, we all know who that is, and we all know the effect that has. But I just thought it'd be quite interesting for those who are denying what I was saying on Thursday, when even Fred Vasseur is now realising the level of misreporting that happens with his driver, who's a different driver to the driver that he had last season. Maybe you should open your eyes. Just an idea. But interesting on the swap front. Lewis playing the team game there, maybe being a bit too nice. I would have liked to see Charles get past him on track. But the problem is, Charles did that and then he didn't have the pace because he was ruining his tyres. But Lewis didn't really have the pace anyway. I don't think we can cry over spoilt milk, especially when that spoilt milk has been chucked out of the fridge anyway. We'll get on to McLaren shortly. At this point, we'll take a break and we'll get into the rest of the grid. If you want to listen to this show without adverts, feel free to support us on Patreon or watch this on YouTube with premium, I guess. I'll be back after these messages. Okie dokie, we are back. Welcome to Nyasha's Notebook, the show where we recount the day's sessions, and we're obviously recounting the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, obviously, McLaren did win, and we'll get on to McLaren, but news hot off the press is that Red Bull, who had their drivers finish in P4 with Max Verstappen, a barnstorming drive towards the end, and Liam Lawson in 12th. Reports coming out of China is that Liam Lawson is under consideration for a swap with Yuki Tsunoda for the Japanese Grand Prix. So those of you who had Liam Lawson in your sweepstakes for the first person to be dropped from their team, it looks like you will be cashing in on your bounty pretty soon. And I mean, what a mess from Red Bull. I mean, we're looking at it was obvious. The car is not easy to drive. An experienced driver like Checo Perez struggling to drive that car. Getting in someone with 11 races who didn't set the world on fire whilst he was at RB, and all this talk of, he has a higher ceiling, this, that, and the other, is debatable. But it's just insane that after 2 races, qualifying last in both sessions this weekend, that the trigger is going to be pulled with Yuki Tsunoda going into the main Red Bull team. And this second Red Bull seat has been run through more than Bonnie Blue. Like, how many men are running through this seat, bro? Like, this is insane. At what point are we looking at a team that is incapable of building a car that is a normal race car? That Max Verstappen has to drive around this car, or that it's built so much to Max's specifications. I mean, look, to be honest, Max is even moaning about the car being difficult to drive himself. So the fact that even Max Verstappen is saying that this car is undrivable, I'm just working around it, and that everyone who goes into this seat seems to be saying the car is undrivable, then you kind of wonder, like, at what point, like, is this team a serious team? Obviously, they managed to win 4 titles out of it. Pretty serious team. But going forward now that they don't have the fastest car, now that other teams have caught up, you do wonder, like, how sustainable this is. No Adrian Newey, Pierre Washe, or Wash, however you pronounce his name. Apologies if I pronounced it wrong. But it's clearly, at this point in time, not exactly Mr. Capable when it comes to these, the Red Bull. So we're now looking at a situation where Yuki potentially is being belatedly put into the seat he should have been put into at the beginning of the season, at the end of last season. But you do wonder, I worry for Yuki, to be honest, because it just feels like another bit of a blender. And, there's clearly no support there. And there's clearly no setup changes people can do to make the car easier for them. Liam Lawson said that he made some setup changes. Obviously started from the pit lane. Made some setup changes that he'd hoped would make the car better, but actually ended up making the car worse. Which said something, to be honest. And he already looks like a man who knows. I mean, he's hardly a man. He's a young man who knows that his career, for now, at Red Bull Racing is over. And in the words of Queen, another one bites the dust. McLaren, Oscar Piastri. It's taken us around 20 minutes to talk about a superb performance from Oscar Piastri, who really and truly, if it wasn't for turn 13 in Australia, we're probably looking at the guy driving the most consistently in this championship right now. And that is Oscar Piastri, And I just think, you looked at Lando Norris today, he was nowhere near. And now look, of course, there's the issue that Lando Norris had towards the end. He had brake issues, and that meant that he was actually very close to being overtaken by George if the race had gone on for another couple of laps. However, Oscar Piastri laid down a marker this weekend. I guess in the same way Lando Norris laid down a marker last weekend, and it would seem that we are heading for a season similar potentially to 2014, where there is now, I don't want to say 2014 because that was ridiculous in terms of the pace advantage, but 2015, 2016. I think there will be wins from other teams here and there, for sure, as evidenced by Lewis Hamilton's sprint victory. And I think sprint weekends are probably going to be the weekends where people have the best chance. It feels like McLaren need a bit of time to get into the operating window. I think when they had 3 practice sessions, by the time we get to qualifying, you kind of see the level up it goes every time. But when it's only 1 practice session before the race, they do tend to be a little bit. It does tend to be a little bit harder to get into the window. So I do think we're on for a two-way championship between 2 drivers in the same team. And if that's the case, are we looking at an Oscar Piastri World Drivers' Championship? You can't count him out. I scoffed at people who said he was favourite out of the 2. And he just worried with Norris today. Or not today, mostly yesterday. You know, he was just never on top of that car. I feel like when the car is in its window perfectly, Lando Norris is there. And significant, and, you know, a touch ahead of Oscar. But we just saw some of the Lando from last season that prevented him from winning a title that he should have won last year. Let's make no mistake. McLaren should have won the World Drivers' title last year. Lando Norris should have won the World Drivers' title last year, and they didn't because of Lando's inexperience and mental fortitude, as well as the teams as well, let's not forget. So, let's see. But an incredible performance from Oscar Piastri to take P1. Mercedes, George Russell, yet again, he's just there or thereabouts. Is Mr. Saturday becoming Mr. Consistent? He's showing a level of performance this season that I think Mercedes won. You know, maybe it's better for him as well without all of the Lewis drama. You know, I say Lewis drama, whatever last season was, right? It's definitely a healthy environment for Lewis, and maybe we forget that it's probably a healthier environment for George. And I think that's being borne out in some of the performances that we're seeing from George currently. Kimi Antonelli, so another podium for George. Kimi Antonelli, 6th driver of the day. I don't know where that came from. But fair play to Kimi Antonelli, the 6th, obviously promoted after the 2 disqualifications from Ferrari. Another team who benefited from that were Williams, who scored double points today. Alex Albon bringing home in 7th, who was very assertive on the radio. I am comfortable. I have got it. I am good. I think was in there as well. He did not want to hear anything from his team, which is funny. I thought Carlos Sainz getting his first point for Williams in 10th. So, yeah, look, great performance from Alex Albon again. And look, first points for Sainz. Can't complain with that. Let me turn this over. Speaking of double points, I know you can't have driver of the day is obviously reserved for drivers, but if I could have my person of the weekend, it'd probably be Ayako Komatsu, the Haas team principal. What a turnaround for Haas, from being the slowest car on the grid last week to double points this week. And Esteban Ocon, again, benefiting from the two Ferraris, coming home in 5th place. Those are massive points for Haas. And Ollie Behrman, ciao! Ciao! I love that from Ollie. Like, I hope he does that every race now. Like, I want that to be his catchphrase. It's mad because they're not even in Italy. He wasn't passing Italian drivers. He drives for an American team. I don't know if there's some Italian ancestry there, but Ollie Behrman's ciao is my thing of the weekend. Like it was said so blasé as well. Like it wasn't like a super excitable one. Like ciao. Ollie Behrman, and I think Ollie Behrman needed that as well. But definitely my thing of the day is Ollie Behrman saying ciao every time he made an overtake. So great performance from Ollie Behrman. Who's my driver of the day as well. Aston Martin, Lance Stroll, again, Mr. Consistent this year. 9th place for Lance Stroll. Carrying that Aston Martin team on his back. He said, people want to get rid of me. Let me tell you now, the only person they're going to get rid of is El Diablo in the other seat. So yeah, Fernando Alonso, unfortunately, did not finish with a brake issue. His brakes were on fire pretty early. I think he tried to carry on, but in the end, it wasn't possible. The Carb, Isaac Hadjar. Isaac Hadjar in 11. Isaac Hadjar in 11, really held up by Jack Doohan. And you do wonder, obviously, Jack Doohan getting a 10 place penalty for a desperate defense against Isaac Hadjar, pretty much meaning that Hadjar was stuck behind him pretty much, until the end of the race. He had the pace in him. Could he have caught Carlos Sainz, and could he have got a point? I guess we'll never know, but obviously, yeah, good drive today from Isaac. And unfortunate for Yuki Tsunoda, who ended up having his wing just fall off out of nowhere. So yeah, that's not great. He says he's off to Japan to eat ramen and sushi, and he's already motivated for that. Will he be in a new car? We don't know. They also put him on the wrong strategy again, and missed out on big points. I think I saw somewhere that Yuki potentially missed out on around 18 points this year through bad strategy. So yeah, not great. They two-stopped, expecting everyone else to two-stop, and it was a one-stop in the end. The Pirellis actually the hard tyre being a lot more of a more durable tyre than they were expecting. So to be expected. So Alpine, Pierre Gasly also disqualified for being underway, again a result of the one-stop strategy. Jack Doohan, 10-second penalty for his dive bomb on Isaac Hadjar, finishing 13th in the end, only in front of the Saubers of Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hulkenberg. So there you go. That is the China Grand Prix. What a weekend. What a weekend. The highs and lows, feast and famine given to us by Scuderia Ferrari. And in all honesty, I need a break. We all need a break. What a couple of weeks it's been. Formula One is back. Quickstop F1 is back. Thank you so much to all of the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying all the new content on the channel. We appreciate it so much. If you're watching this far, give the channel, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 6,000. We're nearly there. And then I guess once we get there, on to 7, I guess. But the podcast will be out. Well, it depends on when you're watching this, but the podcast will be out later today. And yeah, remember, no matter what life throws at you, keep it on the black stuff. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.